Yes, please start, sir. And all the
Okay, madam.
participants are requested to kindly sum up the seminar within 10 minutes.
Okay, madam. Okay.
Okay.
Can I start, madam?
Yes, please.
Thank you, madam. Thank you. Good afternoon to everyone. I am Dr. Rajesh Parate, presenting seminar on the topic of IoT-based biomedical parameter monitoring system. The outline of my work, which are described here, are introduction, literature review, objectives, biomedical parameters and measurements, microcontroller-based measurement, system design, and finally result and discussion. Next, the introduction. Healthcare. Nowadays, healthcare is an important issue for everyone and needs regular checking of important biomedical parameters. It becomes essential after a particular age when person cannot follow one's health status properly without taking the help of clinical assistant. Older persons are more susceptible for disease and anytime undesirable emergency condition might occur that may lead to serious consequences. To stay away from such a condition, the person should move to the hospital for proper treatment when essential parameters become abnormal. Common approach for monitoring basic health parameters leads to loss of some crucial data. So this has motivated us to design a system for continuous monitoring of some important biomedical parameters and provide smart approach by giving better health service to patient. So next, literature review. Next slide, madam. Exhaustive literature survey related to research topic has been carried out. Various sources like Scopus Index, UGC approved, IEEE, different peer-reviewed international journals, proceeding of several national and international conference has to be reviewed so as to find out the work done by various researchers. And the review is mainly based on development of the portable patient monitoring system, application of different wireless technology in design of health observing framework. The main object, next slide. The main objective of my topics is the design of microcontroller based data acquisition system to acquire various biomedical signals such as body temperature, heart rate, oxygen saturations, and blood pressure. Development of standalone portable system to monitor acquired parameters, and finally the design of IoT based biomedical parameter monitoring system. Next. So the parameters of interest, these are the body temperature measurement. So what do you mean by the body temperature measurement? The degree of hotness or coldness is termed as the temperature. Various types of temperature measurement sensors are available in a market, including thermistor, thermocouple, resistive temperature detector, infrared, and semiconductor sensors. The accurate temperature measurement helps for the proper diagnosis in a clinical environment. Commonly accepted normal temperature of human body is 37 degrees centigrade plus minus 1 degree centigrade. And the temperature above this, the normal temperature causes hyperthermia, and below normal temperature causes hypothermia. So this next, madam, next slide. So this table shows the temperature and its effects. When the temperature is generally 37 degrees centigrade, so it is related to the normal temperature, and below this the 37-degree temperature, it causes the different issues such as almost death, normally death, brain damage, cardiorespiratory collapse, fainting, confusion, very fast heart rate, and the temperature below this the normal temperature, so this like 36 degrees centigrade. So some diseases. Next slide, madam. Next slide. Heart rate measurement. So the measurement of the number of heartbeats in 1 minute is referred to as the heart rate. Heart rate represents the condition of our heart and helps to analyze the status of cardiovascular respiratory system. Normal heart rate lies between 60 to 100 bpm under resting condition. Various factors like temperature, body position, emotional state, caffeine intake, medication, thyroid, etc. These affects the normal heart rate of a person. Heart rate plays the major role in a diagnosis of diseases. The presence of various diseases in the body affects the heart rate. Next, This table shows the heart rate and its effects. When the person having the slow pulse, it is because of the malaria. If it has the rapid full pulse, it causes sunstroke. If the strong pulse increasing steadily, this indicate perforated peptic ulcers. If it has the rapid pulse, it causes the hepatic diseases. If it has the slow pulse, it has the goiter. If small, rapid, irregular pulse, it causes that the bronchial asthma. And if it will be the slow as compared to some other fabric condition, it causes the typhoid. Next one, next slide. Blood oxygen saturation measurement. So the oxygen is the most important element required for living organism to sustain life. Metabolism is an important process in living things, and oxygen plays the major role for this reaction. Once patients start losing oxygen, physician gets very less time to protect him from the brain damage, heart failure, and death. Measurement and the calculations of the oxyhemoglobin in a arterial blood is called as the oxygen saturation, and its normal value always greater than that the 95 degrees centigrade. Next slide, madam. Blood pressure measurement. Heart provide blood to all parts of the human body in a vessel called arteries. Blood pressure is the force of blood moving against the wall of arteries. Systolic and diastolic are the two different forms of blood pressure measurement, and its normal value is the 120/80 mmHg. Blood pressure during the contraction of the heart is the systolic pressure, and during the expansion of the heart is the diastolic pressure. BP varies time to time. It can be measured at any time, at any condition to know the health status. But when a person is in a relaxed condition is the most suitable time of the blood pressure measurement. Next slide. Next slide. This table shows the that the normal condition when the person is below that of the systolic BP, and when the person having the blood pressure is greater than that of the diastolic BP. Next slide, madam. Next, Internet of Things. It is the latest technology in which different physical objects are interconnected with each other over the internet. It is mostly useful for the remote health monitoring and the emergency healthcare system. IoT touches every facet of our life, that is from the automation to wearable, RFID, GPS, machine-to-machine communication, vehicle-to-vehicle communication, internet protocol, Wi-Fi are the technologies used for the implementation of the IoT concept. Now, in this, the microcontroller measurement, we did the temperature measurement system using that is the MLX 90614 IR sensor, temperature measurement using DS18B20 temperature sensor, heart rate and SpO2 measurement, blood pressure measurement. So next slide, the temperature measurement using the next slide, madam. Now, in this case, that the around this the Node MCU microcontroller, the temperature measurement system has been developed using this the DS18B20 temperature. All the acquired temperature has been displayed on this the display module, and when the temperature goes below to the above or normal value, so it will alarm using this the buzzer. So this system has been tested on that the 10 different subjects, and the statistical error analysis method has been applied, and the different errors has been calculated. So the RMSE error has been found to be the 0.09. Mean absolute deviation error has been found to be the 0.574. Mean absolute percentage error has been found to be the 0.73, and the accuracy of the system has been achieved to be the 99.27%. Next slide. The heart rate and SpO2 measurement using MAX 3000 sensor. This MAX 3000 sensor is capable for the measuring of the heart rate and the SpO2. The same system has been tested by placing the finger of the subject over this the sensor module, and all these the parameters value this has been displayed on this the OLED display module. When the any one of the parameter crosses beyond its value, so this alarm it will get the this buzzer it will get the indicated that the parameter is goes below or above to that of the normal value. So the error analysis has been done on the obtained data, and this parameter has been found that the RMSE for the heart rate is the 0.15, and for the SpO2 it is the 0.316. The mean absolute deviation error is the 6.68, and the oxygen saturation is 1. Mean absolute percentage error it is found to be the 0.58, and the for SpO2 it is the 0.46. Hence the accuracy of the system has been tested, and for the heart rate measurement it gives the 99.42%, and for the oxygen saturation it gives the 99.54%. Next, madam, next slide. The blood pressure measurement has been taken using this the Sunrom 1437 module. So this diagram shows the hardware implementation of the blood pressure measurement system. This system has been tested and various statistical parameters has been calculated, and it has been found that for the systolic BP that the RMSE error is the 0.79, and for diastolic BP it is the 0.31. Mean absolute deviation error is the 5.86, and the diastolic 3.96. The mean absolute percentage error for systolic BP is the 2.09, and for that of the diastolic BP it is the 2.47, and hence for the systolic BP measurement the accuracy of the system is 97.91%, and for the diastolic BP measurement it is found to be the 97.53%. Next slide, madam. Next slide. And the design of the portable health monitoring system. So using that of the above sensor, in the previous cases that all the sensors, these are the independently interfaced to the ESP32 node MC. Now in this case that all these sensors are interfaced to the microcontroller, and at the same instant of time all these sensors, these have been interface to the human body, and the measurement has been taken. So this is the prototype. Next slide, madam. This is the prototype of the developed portable health monitoring system. This is the temperature sensor, this is the blood pressure sensor module, and this is the heart rate and the SpO2 sensor module. Next slide. Next slide. So this system has been tested on the 50 subjects of the different age group, and that the measurement has been taken. So this graph shows the difference in measurement obtained from the standard equipment value, that is the standard commercially available device, and that the with respect to the design system. So these are the graphs for the heart rate measurement. This is for the oxygen saturation measurement. This is for the body temperature measurement, and this shows for that of the blood pressure measurement. Next, madam. Next slide. Next, the IoT-based biomedical parameter monitoring system. So here also, all the biomedical sensors, these are attached to that of the Node MC unit. And next one, these are attached to that of the web server and user interface. And finally, again, these are being indicated by means of the medical stop. So the smart healthcare approach system has been developed for monitoring the basic health parameters. Different sensors are used for the measurement of body temperature, heart rate, SpO2, and the blood pressure. Patient information is observed by the medical staff using ThinkSpeak IoT platform, where they can process and analyze the present condition of the patient. These parameters are conveyed to the physician on his Twitter account when any one of the parameter goes below or above the normal value. Next slide, madam. So the cloud system implementation has been taken on the ThinkSpeak IoT platform. So these are the steps. First, create the new channels on the ThinkSpeak IoT platform with unique channel name, required field for the data analysis by giving appropriate name to each field. Different widgets such as gauges, numeric display, and lamp indicator in an IoT environment are initiated to display the numeric value captured at that time instant. Software is developed for IoT-based biomedical parameter monitoring system using Arduino IDE. React app is initialized for messaging alerting on Twitter. Alerting on that of the Twitter. Next slide, madam. Next slide. So this is the data visualization on the web server on that of the ThinkSpeak IoT platform. So when the sensors are connected, so at the present instant of time that it display the heart rate value, SpO2 value, temperature value, the systolic BP value, and that of the diastolic BP value. So all these are indicated using that of the different charts which facilities which are provided in ThinkSpeak IoT platform. Next, madam. So in this way, that in order to send that when any one of the parameters goes below or above value, so it will send the message on the Twitter account of the physician. So in this way, this window shows the setting of the message alerting for the Twitter. Next. Results. So in this case, that the IoT-based biomedical signal analysis system has been designed for the visualization of the body temperature, heart rate, SpO2, and blood pressure. ThinkSpeak IoT platform is used for the continuous sensor data upload and display. A caretaker or a doctor can monitor the patient status using any device having internet access. When the critical parameters during the monitoring cross the critical limit, the concerned doctor is informed using ThinkSuite app in a ThinkSuite IoT environment. So the medical staff can take the suitable action for the safety of the patient. Next, madam. Thank you. My presentation is over, madam.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Rajesh Parathe, sir. Very nice work. Good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is it your PhD work, sir?
Yes, madam. It is the one part of my work.
Okay. Dr. Vrushali ma'am.
हाँ येस मॅडम
मी शेअर करू की तुम्ही कराल?
मी करते मॅडम.
ओके, 1 मिनिट.
मॅडम आवाज येतो?
हो, आवाज क्लिअर आहे. 1 मिनिट शेअर ऑप्शन देता.
हो.
येस, करून पहा मॅम, शेअर करून पहा.
मॅडम याच्यात
एक अपवर्ड ॲरो असेल मॅडम शेअर साठी, त्यावर क्लिक करा.
इथे स्क्रीन आणि ऍप्लिकेशन असं दिसत आहे. शेअर कंटेंट.
हा, शेअर कंटेंट वर सिलेक्ट करा आणि एंटायर स्क्रीन शेअर करून मग पीपीटी ओपन करा.
स्क्रीन आधी ओपन करून नंतर इथनं शेअर ऑप्शन. तिथे मॅडम एंटायर स्क्रीन वर हे करायचं.
फर्स्ट वाली विंडो असेल.
अच्छा, तिथनं पण माझ्या याला कसं जायचं?
तुमचं पीपीटी ओपन करा ना मॅडम. तुमची स्क्रीन पहिले शेअर करा मॅम. डबल क्लिक करा त्यावर.
वेट 1 मिनिट. माझं पीपीटी मी ओपन केलं. एंटायर स्क्रीनला केलं मॅडम मी. आली तिथे पण होत नाही पुढे.
नाही मॅडम, अजून तर शेअर नाही झालंय.
स्टॉप शेअरिंग ऑप्शन आहे तिथे.
हा मॅडम, आता स्क्रीन शेअर झाली आहे. आता तुम्ही याला मिनिमाइज करा. आपल्या वेबएक्सच्या विंडोला मिनिमाइज करा.
आता दिसते?
हा, त्याला स्लाइड शो करा.
स्लाइड शो दिसते मॅडम?
हा, येस, इट इज ओके.
Okay,
start.
Good afternoon, respected madam and all dear colleagues. I am Dr. Vrushali Prakash Shede, Assistant Professor and Head of Department of Electronics, 3 Naneshwar Maskuji Gurungle, Science and Arts College, Sheva. Today's my seminar topic is pollution. Basically, I am talking on the topic that is e-waste, which is a mankind gift to Mother Earth. So, content of my today's presentation is introduction, classification of pollution, in which I am going to discuss in detail the e-waste pollution, different sources of the e-waste pollutions, then the effect on environment and the human health, how to reduce it, and the last part is the conclusion of it. So, starting with introduction, what is pollution? Pollution is the contamination of indoor or outdoor environment by any chemical, physical or biological agent that modifies the natural characteristics of the atmosphere, called as the pollutions. What are the different categories of the pollution? As we know, water pollution, air pollution, soil, sound pollution, radioactive pollutions, and the main challenging that harmful pollution in the era of technology is the e-waste pollution. So in brief, I will cover the water pollution, air pollution, sound, radioactive pollutions, and in detail later on I will discuss the e-waste pollution. So what is water pollution? As we know, water is the essential element that makes life on the earth possible. Although 71% of the earth's surface is covered by the water, but only 0.03% is available for irrigation and drinking purpose in lakes, streams, and the rivers. This is the actual scenario, but due to the bad practice of the human being, water gets contaminated by pesticide and the fertilizer, which is directly thrown into the field. Second one, dyes, metal, pharmaceutical waste from the industry are directly thrown into the rivers. Then the next one is plastic and the home wastage from the urban activities are directly thrown into the water resources. So it will create or responsible for the water pollutions. The second type is the air pollution. It was beginning to increase in the beginning of 20th century with the development of transportation system and the large scale use of petrol and diesel. The air gets polluted by the natural disasters like forest fires, volcano, or due to the mishandling and misuse of the automobile, burning waste, power station, petroleum, chemical industry, and burning of crops. So all these contributes, or we can say these are the different type of air pollutants. And due to this air pollution, human respiratory system get damaged, and bronchitis, asthma, premature deaths can happen due to this air pollution. Then the next type, that is the noise pollution. So what is noise pollution? The unwanted sound produced by the aeroplanes, helicopters, then the music system, horn, automobile industry causes the pollutions, that is the noise pollutions. Then the nuclear ash from the atomic reactor, which is responsible for the radioactive waste or the radioactive pollutions. Then the soil pollutions, which is due to the home wastage, plastic wastage, or the waste from the household appliances, or the e-waste, which is directly thrown on the earth, called as, or it contribute the type of pollution that is called as the soil pollution. But in the era of technology, the most challenging pollution is the e-waste pollution, because of the increasing urbanization, industrialization, population growth, and moreover, as the time is goes on changing, the human become more and more dependent on the machines, more techno-friendly, and this is the root cause of e-waste. Recently, India has marked world third largest e-waste generator after China and United States. Uh, Annually, India produces near about 3,230 into 1,000 metric tons of e-waste per year. So, what is actually the e-waste? E-waste means the electronic waste is any type of electronic devices that is no longer operational or which is not in use, called as the e-waste. So, how it is generated? When the electronic and electrical equipment become unfit for their originally intended use and has crossed their expiry date, it is treated as an e-waste. These electronic waste, or the second type, how the e-waste can be generated, as we observe that the electronic equipment get fastly replaced by the newer model, and it will add the more e-waste worldwide. So there are different type of e-waste producers from home, hospital, government sector, and the private sector. Um, as we are using the televisions, radios, cell phone, washing machine, microwaves, ovens, then CD players, fans, LEDs, bulbs from homes. After use, it creates the e-waste. Then from hospital section, the PCs, monitor, ECG machine, EEG machine, EMG machines, X-ray machines, all the devices utilized for the biomedical devices utilized for the medication purpose, microscope, incubator, after use, it will again create the e-waste. From government sector, the PC, fax machine, Xerox machine, scanner, fan, tube lights, LED, air conditions, it again contributes to e-waste. From private sector, the boiler, mixer, signal generator, incubator, all contribute finally after use to the electronic waste. So, from the study of Associated Chamber of Commerce and Industry India, after their study, they are find out that the computer equipment produces near about 70% of the e-waste. Telecommunication equipment produces the 12% of the e-waste. Electrical equipment produces the 8% of the e-waste. Medical equipment produces the 7% of the e-waste, and the remaining e-waste is produced by the household appliances after their use. So this generated e-waste produces a lot of problems to the human health. These e-waste contain, because why? Because this e-waste contains the toxic substance such as liquid crystal, lithium, mercury, nickel, cerium, arsenic, barium, cadmium, cobalt, lead, copper, and all these elements are hazardous to human health. Second one, the environmental occupational safety problem may arise if it is dismantled unprofessionally. Here in this picture, we can observe that the one person is burning the PCB for the extraction of metal from it. But due to this unprofessional practice, whatever is the toxic gases, it is emitted directly into the environment. And after extraction of the metal, if it is thrown in the water or soil, it may contaminate water or soil, and these chemicals get contaminate the water or the soil. And the most important is that if this unprofessional extraction technique is adopted, then the precious metal like gold, platinum, silver is not recovered properly from this e-waste. So if this e-waste is not managed properly, as we discussed earlier, it will affect the human health and it will cause the many diseases to a human body. It will damage the central and peripheral nervous system, blood system, maybe kidney damage, lung cancer, and then reproductive or the developmental problems may get arise, respiratory skin disorders may get arise, and it will have effect on the development of brain also. So this e-waste problem can be minimized if it is properly processed using following steps. The first one is the proper collection of the electronic wastage. Second one is it should be safely stored initially. The next one, it should be initially sorted manually. Then after, it should be separated by a scientific process with the help of machines. Then from the sorted data, separated data, whatever the precious metal like gold, silver, copper, platinum can be recovered by a specific technique, scientific technique. And after that, whatever is hazardous element material, it should be disposable properly. Though this is the problem, but we can handle this problem properly, it will create opportunity in the field of employment. How it is so? Because this e-waste typically consists of the metal, plastic, cathode ray tubes, printed circuit boards, cables, and so on. It contains the valuable metals such as copper, silver, gold, platinum, and so on, which could be recovered from the e-waste and brought back into the production cycle. And if they are scientifically processed, it will create the employment. All these process factors cannot be possible at an individual end because it needs some scientific process or plant. At our end, being a teacher, we can aware student and society by sharing the information among the student and society by arranging the seminar, poster competition, survey, or the collection of e-waste from society and student and send it through a proper channel for the purpose of recycling and reuse. So these are some pictures from my department where we have conducted some seminar, poster competition, and some e-waste survey in rural area. So as we discussed earlier, that e-waste contain the precious metals. So here, this picture shows that the medals of Tokyo 2020 Olympic was made by this e-waste. So the last part is the conclusion. Various pollutants has been discussed in brief, which are polluting the environment of the earth. It is seen that mankind or the human being is at the bottom of the pollution who are increasing the amount of pollutant at rapid scale. So it is the need of future that humans should efficiently use the natural resources so that pollution can be minimized at the largest scale. Our Mother Earth gifted us with the very precious things like water, sunlight, precious metal, fruits, plants, and so on. So it's our moral responsibility to save Mother Earth. We should not give her pollution as a return gift. So that's all, madam. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Vrushali ma'am. Nice presentation. Thank you so much.
Hi, madam. Hello, madam.
छान प्रेझेंट केलं. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. Thank you.
Next, Dr. Anthony sir.
Yeah, ma'am. Let me share the presentation, ma'am.
Yeah, yes, just a
Please,
minute.
please give share options.
Yes, you try to share.
Yes, ma'am. Madam, is my screen visible?
Yes, sir, it is visible. Please start.
Yeah, is the PPT visible now?
Yes, yes, it is in the slideshow mode. You can start.
Okay then. Yeah, respected Madam Dr. Preeti Dharmik, the coordinator of this refresher program, and the various participants from various other colleges. Very good afternoon to one and all. I'm Dr. Anthony Raj, Assistant Professor of Physics from St. Joseph College, Tiruchirappalli, Tamil Nadu, India. So I'm going to present elasticity of solids. So overall, I'm going to present about what is elasticity and what do we measure from the elasticity, and the role of elasticity in day-to-day life, and finally conclusions. This is my plan of presentations. Elasticity is a tendency of a solid object, actually, that has the ability to regain to its original size and shape when the deforming forces are removed. If you could see me through video, you see I have a rubber band. What happens is that if I apply a force, what happens? The dimension of the rubber band is getting changes. Now you see the body is getting deformed. When I remove this force, it goes back to its original size and shape. So that is what actually elasticity. This has a very important role in all sort of technology. For example, starting from textile industry, civil engineering, automobile engineering, especially we are using so much of spring systems in the vehicles, for braking, for suspensions, everywhere. Elasticity is actually plays a very important role. So that's what actually elasticity. Elasticity is totally different from flexibility. Please do not confuse with flexibility and elasticity. Flexibility is how much of it is, how much it is flexible, which means how much it is getting expanded. That is what flexibility. But when elasticity is the tendency of the material to regain to its original size and shape. If I just pull this, what happens actually? This rubber band, exert a force, a restoring force, trying to restore to its original size and shape. If I leave the force, then it actually goes back to its original size and shape. So that is what actually elasticity. So we can classify all the materials that are solid material based on elasticity. So we call it as elastic plastic material and the rigid material. If the material regain to its original size and shape, we call it as elastic material. For example, rubber band. Actually, even the plastic scales, it gets bending. So if I remove this force, it goes back to its original size and shape. So that material is elastic material. Plastic material in the sense, whichever doesn't regain to its original size and shape. You see, if you could see me through the video, you see I have a chocolate. If I apply a force, it gets deformed. It is actually getting deformed. This is a little bit hard, but it gets deformed. When I remove this force, it doesn't regain to its original size and shape. So that is what actually plastic material. For example, clay, that's what, these are the examples. When it comes to rigidity, rigid materials, stiffness is also one kind of elasticity. For example, a stone, if I apply a force, it is not going to change its size and shape. Rather, okay, if the force is enough, then it will break down into two pieces. It won't get deformed. So that is what we call it as rigid material. Now, these are the examples of different materials: elastic, a spring, a rubber band, plastic materials, clay, so that can be classified as a plastic material. When it comes to rigid material, that's stone. So if you apply a force, it doesn't going to change its dimensions. But rather, these two are getting changes its dimensions. That is what actually rigid material. Now, what is actually elasticity? Elasticity deals with the behavior of a solid object subjected to stress and strain. Overall, it is a measure of stress and strain. How much stress is applied and how much it is getting elongated, or maybe how much the dimension is actually getting changes. It is the ratio of stress by strain is actually called elasticity. For example, stress is nothing but the restoring force per unit area. When you apply a force, then the object trying to restore, okay, it will exert equal force. I mean, trying to restore to its original size and shape. Strain is the measure of how much it is getting elongated, how much the dimension is actually getting changes, which is nothing but change in length per original length. So that's what I told you. You see this here, stress and strain. So you have the object, and if I apply a force on these directions, for example, you apply a force on these directions, what happens actually, the material getting elongated. Okay, so when you remove this force, it goes back to its original size and shape. So what is actually strain? It is a measure of change in length to the original length. How much of, when you apply a force, how much it is getting elongated, and when you leave the force, what is actually the original length? So it is, strain is nothing but the measure of change in length per original length. So what is actually elasticity in that sense? So it is the ratio of stress by strain. Every material, all the solid material has the value of elasticity. We call it as modulus of elasticity, which is nothing but elastic constant. For example, concrete has elasticity value, wood has elastic value, steel, whatever the different materials, every material has the value of elasticity. Though it seems to be a very small topic, but it has a number of applications in the day-to-day life, starting from textile industry, civil engineering, automobile engineering, making of toys, making of balloons, everywhere, making of rubber, the rubber tires, everywhere, it actually plays a very important role. So modulus of elasticity can be classified into three different things. One is, we call it as Young's modulus. Other one is bulk modulus, then rigidity modulus. Length-oriented modulus is called Young's modulus. For example, you apply a force, the length of the dimension getting changes. This is what actually called Young's modulus. If you could see me through the video, I have a pinky ball. If I apply a force on all directions, its volume changes. You see this? This is called bulk modulus. I apply a force, the volume of the ball is getting changes. When I remove the force, it goes back to its original size and shape. So this is what we call it as a bulk modulus. Rigidity modulus in the sense, change in shape, otherwise angle-oriented modulus. For example, I have a scale, you see this. If I apply a force, it gets bending. When I remove this force, it goes back to its original size and shape. So that is what actually we call it as the rigidity modulus. That is angle-oriented modulus is called modulus of elasticity. Now these are the three different things. Young's modulus, we call it as bulk modulus. You see the volume is getting changes. When I apply pressure on this all direction, the volume of the pinky ball is actually compresses. Now when I leave this, it goes back to its original size and shape. So that is what we call it as bulk modulus. And then this one is rigidity modulus, which is nothing but the angle oriented. When I just I have shown you, right? When I just push this scale, it gets bending, right? The shape, the angle is getting bending, right? When I remove this, it goes back to its original size. That is what we call it as rigidity modulus. Now these are some of the values for modulus of elasticity. For example, you see concrete has 15 to 40 gigapascal. So because elasticity is measured in Newton per meter square or in terms of Pascal, where giga is nothing but 10 power 9, okay, 10 power 9 Pascal. So that is the value of concrete. And you see the different values for copper, diamond, wood, silica glass, polystyrene, everything is actually having the value of elasticity. We call it as modulus of elasticity. Now, this is the, you see this role of elasticity in day-to-day life. Almost in all parts of automobile engineering, starting from suspension system, spring system, everything is actually because of elasticity. So this has to come back. Whenever the material goes under in a dip, so what will happen? The spring will compress and then it will go back to its original position. If it doesn't go back to its original size, then what would happen? Then, the vehicle will get damaged. So that's what actually, this is very simple. Starting from pen, the pen that the push and pull pen, so there will be a spring. So if you apply a brake, what happens? The spring will stretches, and then when you just take out your leg, then what happens? The spring goes back to its original, so that the brake is actually properly working. So that is how elasticity is actually plays a very, and especially in construction engineering, especially when you just construct a beam, elasticity plays a very important role. It plays a very important role. I'll tell you what is actually, how does it actually. And then coming to this one, what actually, you see this, the materials that we are making, starting from, even in medical industries, the gloves, the plastic gloves that we are having, it has to, it has to expand when we just insert our hand. And when we just take out a hand, then it goes back to its original size and shape. So that is what actually elasticity. Ma'am, am I audible? Is everything okay? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, you can proceed.
Okay. Yeah. The last one. Oh, this is very interesting to know. Have you ever thought of why the beam is always made with the thickness of the beam will be always greater than the breadth? You know what actually? And sometimes the beam will be made like T-shaped beams. You see? So here, if you see this, the thickness will be greater than the breadth. So have you ever thought of this one? And also, you see sometimes high-shaped girder. For example, in the in the train track, that will be made in a high-shaped girder. So this is very interesting to know. Sometimes this will be made in the form of T shape. You see, please, if you could see through me in video, you see I have a scale. If I apply a force, it's bending. It's bending, right? If I apply a force in this direction, it doesn't. You know why? You know, you see this? This is not bending. But in this position, if I apply a force, it gets bending, you see. But if I apply a force in this direction, it doesn't. So this is actually because of elasticity. And I take the very important, very famous equation, Young's modulus equation. Y is equal to mg L cube by 4 BD cube S, where Y stands for the Young's modulus of elasticity. M is the, mass, G is the acceleration, L is the length of hanging. Suppose if I take a bridge, you see, length of hanging. Okay, if I have 2 knife edges, this is the length of hanging. And B is the breadth of this beam, this one. D is the thickness of this beam, this one. And S is the depression. Depression means how much it is getting bending. See this, it getting bending. So this is what actually S is the depression. I rewrite this equation in terms of S. S is equal to mg L cube by 4 BD cube by. All these are constant. Mass is constant. Acceleration due to gravity is constant. Length of the beam, between the 2 knife edges, between the 2 posts, a bridge is actually just holding between the 2 posts. So that is the length. And B is the breadth of this beam. D is the thickness of this beam. Okay. Now you see the S is inversely proportional to D cube. As the thickness, thickness is actually increases, then depression decreases. You see here the thickness is very low, so it gets depressed. You see, if I just, in this direction, you see the thickness is more. You see, the thickness is more and the depression is actually very less. You see, so it is not getting bending. So that is why, in the construction of a, beam, always you could see that actually the thickness of the beam is much greater than the breadth. So in order to reduce the depression, if you are not reducing the depression, what will happen? Suppose if you just walk on the, floor, then the entire floor will start vibrating like this. Okay, so that is why in order to reduce this, okay, we are just making this, we are increasing the thickness. Now coming to why it is actually made as I-shaped girder. You see why it is made as T-shaped? Because, see, in this direction it is getting depressed. So if I increase the thickness in this direction, this will not get, this one, depress in this direction, but this will depress in the sidewise. You see, this will depress like this. So in order to reduce both the direction, depression in this direction as well as in this direction, the X and Y, So in order to reduce this, those are made with I-shaped girder so that both the sides are, there is a thickness increases. When the thickness increases, 9 times the depression decreases because S is inversely proportional to dq. So that is the very, very, very beautiful things. Elasticity is applied in, in the civil engineering. So overall, that's what actually elasticity plays a very important role in all aspects. Even the clothings, elastic pants, everything what we are wearing is actually because of elasticity. So it also has a very important role in automobile engineering, textile engineering, and then civil engineering. In coming to making of toys, making of gloves and everything, all these comes under the the applications of elasticity. With this, I conclude. Thanks for the opportunity, madam. Thank you so much. If there is any questions, let me answer.
Thank you so much, sir. Very nicely presented, and the topic is also good. Very good.
Yeah, thank you, madam. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Next one is Dr. Dilip Sadhankar, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yes. Are you going to share your screen? Dilip sir, तुम्ही share कराल screen?
Yes, ma'am. I'm just actually my laptop. I'm connecting with my laptop. Can you give me 2 minutes?
Yes. Meanwhile, I'll start with the next participant. Will it be okay?
Fine. It's okay.
Okay. Amit sir is there. Amit Gadre.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I'll give you share option. Yes. You please try to share, Amit sir.
Screen. Is my screen is visible?
Yes, sir. Yes, it is visible. Kindly make it slideshow.
Okay, good afternoon all. I'm Dr. Amit Liladhar Gadre, Assistant Professor, Department of Physics, Arvind Babu Deshmukh Mahavidyalaya, Bharsangi. Okay, today I'm going to present my topic laser and its application. I'm not going too deep, but in some points which I want to cover is what is laser, characteristics of laser, types of laser, and applications of laser. So first of all, what is laser? So laser is a abbreviation is light amplification by stimulated emission of radiation. Is one of the form of light. And what is laser? Laser is a device produce a coherent beam of optical radiation by stimulating electronic, ionic, or molecular transition to higher energy level. When they return to lower energy level by stimulated emission, they emit light. So this is the main process which is involved in the light laser amplification. So what is laser? So first of all, we can justify what is laser. So L in the laser, that stand for light. So light is the energy source, or it is one of the form of energy. According to Planck, energy is a light. Energy of light is denoted by, or it should be measured by, quantity of photons. And the photon of energy E is equal to h nu. It is the equation which measure the energy of light. In this animation, we can see that a regular light and a laser light. So regular light is a laser light, light which is produced by one process that is called as spontaneous emission, and this is a laser light. Then A in the laser, that stand for amplification. So what is simply amplification means conversion of small signal into larger signal. Okay, so in laser action, we can say that dim light should be converted into bright light or high intensity light with the help of laser medium. So A stand for amplification. Then S stand for stimulated emission. So this is called as stimulated. We can say stimulated means that the photon are amplified by stimulating an atom to release more photons. An atom can exist in excited state similar to bow when it gets stretched. When atom relaxed, it emit a photon. Okay, so if you look at in this animation, atom is heated by one photon, and after that 2 photons will be releases. That is the main process. That process is called as stimulated emission. So our ordinary light should be use a spontaneous emission process, and laser light should use stimulated emission process. So E stand for emission. Emission refer to giving of photons. The excited atoms emit a photon when another photon come by. In 1917, Einstein described that this process of stimulated emission. Then R stand for radiation. Radiation is a word that had bad reputation. It generate term for anything that radiate or giving off by an object. For laser, radiations refer to the photon which are being emitted. So this is the somewhat information about laser. Then these are the characteristics of laser. So laser having some characteristics such as monochromatic, directional, and coherent. So monochromatic is we can say that laser, any kind of laser or in laser show, we can see a single color of laser light. So that is the property that is called as monochromatic, which is having single wavelength associated with that laser light. Then one of the property of laser light that is called as direction, which is most important. uh, Ordinary light can be spread in all direction, but laser light can be direction only in one direction. Then coherence, in this all emitted photons bear a constant phase relationship with each other in both time and phase. That is the most important characteristics of laser light. The combination of these three characteristics or this property make laser light focus 100 times better than ordinary light. So these are the important characteristics of laser. The next, this is called as electronic spectrum. Okay, so electronic spectrum, laser can operate in this electronic spectrum just like ultraviolet, visible, and infrared region. So we can having visible laser that we can see red color, orange, green color laser light. Infrared lasers are also used for security purposes. Then types of lasers having different types such as gas laser, helium neon, CO2, argon, or krypton laser are called as gas laser. Solid state laser such as ruby laser, Nd:YAG laser, or diode laser, semiconductor laser. liquid laser, and chemical laser and nuclear laser. So these are the some of the types of lasers. Now here some are photographs of types of lasers, such as helium neon is a gas laser, Nd:YAG laser is a solid state laser. Then next is semiconductor laser. Semiconductor laser is a laser in which semiconductor serve as a photon source, and this is the smallest laser that we can use. The next is some of the applications of laser. So scientific applications of lasers are: laser is used in spectroscopy, lunar laser ranging, photochemistry, laser cooling, and nuclear fusion. So these are some scientific applications of laser where laser can be used. Then military applications of lasers are, generally these rays are called as death rays, or we can use these as a defensive applications: strategic defense initiative, laser slide illuminator, range finder, and target designator. So this is called as death ray, or generally used in military applications or on the guns or missiles. Laser guided missiles generally we use today. Now medical applications of laser are in eye surgery or cosmetic surgery. These applications of lasers are there. Generally these lasers are used. The next is industrial and commercial applications of laser. These applications we can use see in our day-to-day time, such as cutting, welding, marketing. These lasers should be used. Outdated technology, we can say somewhat nowadays. CD and DVD player we cannot use, but in that case a laser should be used there. Then laser printer and laser pointer, photolithographic and laser light display. So these are some industrial and commercial applications of laser light. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Amit sir. Good, very nice. Is it your research work or some other part?
No, ma'am, it is a topic of
Generalized topic. Yes.
Generalized topic.
Okay.
I'm working in polymers.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much. Dilip sir, have you
Yes,
joined?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Madam, I could not share actually.
Okay, sir. Just a minute. I'll give you share option, sir.
Okay.
Yes, now you try to share.
Okay. I have started sharing, ma'am.
Yes, sir, it is visible. Kindly make it slideshow. Yeah, please start.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Good afternoon, everyone. My topic is here for the seminar, normalization is in DBMS. This is just an introductory section actually. Now, the very first thing, a database management system, when we talk about it, so it is what? It is a software for creating and managing database. The DBMS, in short, we call it DBMS. It provides a centralized view of data that can be accessed by multiple users from multiple locations in a controlled manner. For example, person is accessing his bank account detail from any place across the world. A DBMS can limit what data end users see and how they view that data, providing many views of single database. Then end user and software program are free from having to understand where the data is physically located or on what type of storage medium it resides, because the DBMS handle all the requests. Now, when it comes to DBMS, the very important part here is how the data is stored. So nowadays, we are a very popular model that we use to store the data is called as relational modeling, where the data is stored in the form of table. Now, data should be stored in such a way that here there should be consistency in accessing the database, in insertion of database, or in updation of database. That means here, if you are changing a record or any information at in a particular section, so it should be reflected across all the sections. Suppose here you are updating your address, in one of your bank accounts, so it should be reflected wherever that address, entity, that attribute is mentioned in overall database. The problem is here what? Whenever the database is created that comes with the anomalies. Now, what is anomaly? This word anomaly means something that deviates from what is standard or normal or expected. That means here that is not in a standard form. So what kind of anomalies there are in DBMS that we'll see? There are three types of anomalies that occur when database is not normalized. That means here database is not in a standard form. So in that case here, there are three kind of issues that may be faced. One is insertion, then updation, then deletion anomaly. Here we'll see one by one. Now the very first one is here. Suppose a manufacturing company here, you can see a table here. So company is there, employee details are there. Here EMP ID, EMP name, EMP address, EMP department. These are all called as attribute of an employee. So there are 4 attributes. And suppose the data is stored like this. Now, here you can easily observe in the table that EMP ID with 101, there are 2 entries in the database. Okay, that is the problem actually. Because for one particular employee, there should be only 1 entry. Because this person is working in 2 different departments. This is the last column you can see D001 and D002. So here ultimately here we need to add 1 more entry for the EMP name Rick. So this is what called as insertion anomaly. That means here somewhere there is a duplication of data. Here you can see because we are adding this twice. So employee ID, EMP name, then EMP address. So that is here we have to add twice. Now what happened here? The matter we have discussed. This is what called as insertion anomaly. Now the above table is not normalized actually because we have to add the data, duplicate data. So we will see what are the problems that we can face. So they here update anomaly. Now what problem we'll face when we'll try to update the data. Now in the above table, when there are 2 rates with the employee Rick, and here as we know that Rick belongs to 2 different departments. So if we want to update the address of Rick, okay, as we can see, address of that employee Rick is Delhi. So if I want to change the address of Rick, then here suppose I change it and that is reflected only at one place but not at other place because there are 2 records. So it should be reflected at 2 places. So that here whenever the data is accessed, so every time here it will be consistent. But suppose because there is an anomaly, so because of that what happened, data will be updated at one place but not at other place. So that is the problem here. So if somehow the correct address gets updated in one department but not in other department, so that is the problem. So whenever the data will be accessed, so maybe possible incorrect data may be accessed because the address is changed. So that is what inconsistent data will be resulted. Then another insert anomaly. Suppose a new employee joined the company, okay, and who is under training and currently not assigned any of the department. That means here he's working, he's on training and here yet to assign any department. Now here what is the problem? We cannot add that entry into the table. हम जो है उसका information इस table में add नहीं कर सकते because here we cannot keep that department entry null because that department is not assigned to that person, and because of that here we cannot assign, we cannot store any value for the department, and that is the problem here. That is what called as insert anomaly. So moving to the next one, delete anomaly. Now the anomaly when we try to delete the data at that time, the issue we can face here we can discuss. So suppose if at a point of time company closes the department D890. Now one of the department is closed, and here for that here we have to remove that department entry. Now as we can see the table, if I remove this department entry D890, along with that what happened here, the employee named Maggie, she is working in that department, that entry will be also deleted. Okay, that means that employee entry from the database will be removed, and that is what the problem is. So that resulted into delete anomaly. Actually, this should not happen, and because of this here, whenever before entering or inserting a data or before doing anything here, we have to overcome this issue, and this issue can be overcome with the help of normalization of the database. So Normalization is what? Normalization is a process of organizing the data in database to avoid data redundancy, and along with that here, avoiding the anomalies that we have discussed: insert anomaly, update anomaly, and deletion anomaly. So that is the advantage of normalization here we'll get. So that process involves number of steps. So as you can see, first normal form, second normal form, third normal form, then 3.5, or it's also called as BCNF, voice code normal form, fourth normal form, and then fifth normal form. I will take it short. First normal form, as per the rule of the first normal form, an attribute of a table cannot hold multiple values. It should only hold atomic value. So that rule has to be followed. Whereas when it comes to the second normal form, the table should be in first normal form. That is the very first condition. And the second one is here: no non-prime attribute is dependent on other proper subset of any candidate key of the table. That means here, in other words, we can say that no partial functional dependency should be there. That means here a prime attribute, dependency should be, fully functional dependency there. Then in the third normal form, again, that table should be in a previous normal form. That means in second normal form, and there should not be any transitive functional dependency. That means here, if an attribute is A is there, that value of attribute B dependent on A, and the value of attribute C that dependent on B. So in such a way, there is a transitive dependency, so that should not be there. So in third normal form, that dependency will be removed. Then in fourth one, that is what we are calling BCNF, or this is also called as 3.5 NF. So BCNF is stricter than 3NF. A table complies with BCNF if it is in third normal form, and for every functional dependency, if there is an attribute Y which depend on X, so here X should be the very important key for that table. Then in the next one, that is fourth normal form, again that table should be in a previous normal form, and the table should not have any multi-value dependence. That means here, for one particular value of an attribute, there should not be more than one value. And finally, in the fifth normal form, a relation should be in a fourth normal form, and that relation should not contain any joint dependency. So in such a way, here it's a long procedure to convert entire table into the normalized form, and here it has to go through each and every normal form before moving to the next normal form. So this is all from my side. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Nice presentation. Thank you. Vineet Anand Pawar, sir, are you there?
Yes, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay.
आप शेयर करेंगे?
Yes, ma'am.
एक मिनट. Yes, you try to share.
हो म्हणजे टाइम टेबल नुसार 2-4 दिवस इकडे तिकडे होतात, पण नंतर होतील असं.
Ma'am, only presentation would I share the screen? I want to share the screen itself.
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Please start.
Yes. Hello, colleagues. Hello, ma'am. Good afternoon, and it is very late, and everybody hungry. I suppose I am also, but I am preparing for this. I am giving you a little bit of knowledge about Google tools, which you have seen or not seen, I don't know. My name is Vineet Anand Pawar. I am from Dr. Ambedkar College. I am teaching PG department over there. I will show you the various tools are there. This is the glimpse which you can see of the Google. These are the products actually. I am giving mix of it, some products, some tools which we can go for. So there are more than 70 Google products. Most of them are free, which you are using over there. And I will show you some of that. And my presentation is somehow, it is display kind of thing. I'm not interested in much more of talking. Showing is one of the things which we can go for. First four Google tools or Google products which we can have is the Cardboard, Google Art and Culture, Drawing, Exposure Notification, and like that. So first thing you can go for, I will show you on this. Suppose you can see on your screen the Google Cardboard. This is one of the product which you can make your mobile as the immense experience of the what you can call it, the VR effect over there, and you can see the places which you can see over there that you can purchase from the Google, and you can play the games, you can space, you can see the things in virtual reality, which is developed by the Google itself, and it has a good experience which you can get into. So people are using it most of the time. People say it is like a good experience for the reality in that case. Next thing which we can have is Google Art and Culture. I suppose most of the people don't know about it, but Google having a beautiful arrangement of art and culture. You can see the things which you want to see as very much interested in this. If you want to see the heritage, you want to see the artist, you want to see, if you want to see the artist, you can see the artist and images, you can see anywhere from your, only thing is that internet needed, and you can see who is the artist and what pictures you want to see. You can see it across. Even you can go for, it has various other elements in this, and you can have era also, like 1,000 here, 1,500, 1,700, 1,800, 1,900, where you can have, you can go by year also. Time zone is given, and according to that, you can see the images in that case. And you can enjoy this kind of structure in your life whenever you get bored. You can also do, if you are teaching something like, and you want to draw something online and you want to show that to the student and you want to share it with the student, you can do it with the drawing, and you can do the drawing, and at the same time, student can also view your drawing on the online portal if you are teaching online over there, or you want to draw it and save it, and after that you want to share it, you can share it over there. This is one of the app which you can use it. Any kind of shapes and diagrams can be created by using this. It can also support it with the Google online things which you want to access, and it can be easily inserted into the Google Drawing over there. Now I can go for the next thing, which is developed by using Apple and Google itself. This is the exposure notification, which is developed when the spread of COVID-19 is happened. Now they are making it very much aware of it. This kind of app is used to get the information about the spread, about the notifications, about the government things, about various other things which are there. And this can be given, and it is very useful app in the sense that whenever you join with this, you will get various updates about new things coming up in your life. So this is also an important app which we can use it in your life in that case. Next four apps I can do, you have the Google Fit. Now winter is coming, now everybody is very much into that. So Google Fit gives you all the tracking details about your things. Various apps are available, but Google Fit is most, I like most in that case. So you can use it for your every possible health tips can be given by the Google. It is also supported by online features all, and it will give you various updates in that case. Next thing which you can go for is Google Cast. Most of the people know there are various casting mirroring things over there, but this cast is very beautiful. When you want your mobile movies or mobile things can be directly uploaded into your TV, or audio directly goes to the your music system. That can be easily possible by using this Chromecast built in over there. This you can use it. This app is very useful in that case if you want to directly jump onto whatever you have. You want to see the images, you want to see the pictures, you want to see, show the your family pictures over there. Now I'm directly connected with the mobile, and you can show the things over there. Now, next thing I will show you that various people are struggle with the fonts. Now, Google also provides various fonts in his library where you can use various fonts. These are, most of the fonts are free, some of the paid, but if you like some fonts, you can directly click on it, go to check it out, and you can go and say download family, directly downloads the thing. You don't require anything in that case. It is there in the system. I can have this folder, and if you want, you can install in your system whenever required. So this kind of things are also there in the Google. Fonts, if you want, decorative fonts, if you want, you can use this Google fonts over there in the system. Next thing you want to know is various things. We will normally use Make My Trip or Go like that over there, but Google also provides flight information very easily. It is very much accurate in that case. You can directly access the flights over here, and you can book the flights also. You can check the schedules. You can go for by using this flight things over there. Now, I will give you most of the thing we cannot go for doing it, but I have chosen some of the apps over there which I want to show you. This is another beautiful app given by the Google, which you can install in your mobile or anywhere. This is directly controlled by the voice commands over there. You are everything, you're calling from your Google Assistant is there, but this is another beautiful thing. Any app you want to open from your mobile, you can directly say with the voice command, it will open it. And any app you want to go for with the mobile or a laptop, it directly works from the voice itself. So this is also a beautiful app. Google Assistant gives you another kind of messaging system, but here it is directly opens, directly controls your apps from your mobile or a laptop or a any ads over there, apps even it can handle. Now you can also have plenty of books available in the Google Play book or audio books you can go for. Just go to the Google Play, the books, you can search it. It can be, make it as audio books also, and you can also have a reading kind of books here. It is absolutely, you can check out the various books are there. I am not able to install it here in the machine, but you can see the books, you can search it across. Most of the people liked it. This is having 5-star rating in this case, if you are a good reader or you want most of the information in this case. Now, next thing we want to go for is the Google Street View. This is one of the beautiful, I have liked it. Google Street View is, sorry for that. I have pasted the same link with this. Sorry for this, but it is also beautiful. I will show you lastly after the end directly the Google Street View in the system. This is another thing which you can want. Anybody is an artist in your family, they can create in the video. I will show you some of the glimpse of it. Directly draw the things in the 3D effect. It's also virtual effect or giving drawing over there. And anybody interested in drawing some kind of things which you want to, you can draw it. It is in a 3D effect over there. The painting is done very beautifully, and this can be shared, which can be stored. Somehow some features are paid, but most of the things are easily available. You can draw it. It will showing a beautiful animation in the case. So this kind of things also available in the Google, and this is developed by Google. And you can draw, you can see the cartoons can be developed according whatever you want to do it in this case. Next, finally, I can go for these 4 items over there. There's one thing is most people don't know this. Android and Google provide. Android it itself for the product of Google. Now Google purchases the Android, so Android provides the most safest thing in for the mobile. If it is not there, please add into your mobile system. It has a perfect defense system for the very detailed into this. It avoids all the protect your all kind of things. It will scan and avoid bad apps. Even it can go for spammers, avoid shady websites. Even it can go for everything is private in that case. Even it has access to various other things. Even the architecture is modeled like this. So it is having 5-layer things. It can search for in deep indeed. Even the hardware can be also protected by using this Play Protect. If you don't have, please have it in this. Now, YouTube, YouTube Music, YouTube TV, now they have launched YouTube Kids also. Now, this is also kind of thing. This is a new member for the Google. So, newest member of the Google family, that is YouTube Kids. The app is available on the Google App Store. This is also beautiful for that is restricted elements can be given for the kids. Only kids level things can be available. The contents for the kids are very much in that. So all the cartoons or whatever it can be whatever easily they can access, that can be done in the Google. They will do it. YouTube, everything is accessible. Now they don't have everything accessible. They have only those things which they are related to them can be accessible in the YouTube Kid over there. Next thing is if you are a Google user and you are a Gmail user and you are a Google user, you have a storage capacity and all the things can be given. I am a Google user, so my capacity of the one store having all the things can be managed, storage and it takes money for managing these things. Your apps can be managed, storage can be purchased by this, and other things can also purchase from this. So it can manage your storage. It can clean your things which are there. If you have any other things which is not manageable, that can be managed by the Google One. And all the apps can be up to date with the Google One in the system if you want to go for it. Finally, I will go for people not using it. It is given in your mobile. Check it out. This is Google Alerts. Put down the Google Alert any point in time, whenever required, the alert you what you are missing. So this is a beautiful app. I'm using it, and I suggest most of the people to use it. If you are forgetting something, I used to forget. If you have a time scheduling in that case, so you can use this Google Alerts over there for that matter. So this is what I have in this, and this image also taken from the Google. It is, thank you very much, which you are listening, kind listening over there. Apart from your hungriness, I will show you one thing which is missing, but okay with, you can check it out with your own also, that it will give you a street view very beautifully over there on the streets, all the buildings and all the things in a 3D image. So that is also a good app if you want to go for it. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Yes. This you have created, sir?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Okay. Sir, you are already there in the meeting.
Yes, ma'am, but I am not, it is not visible for me. I don't know why, what happened.
Yes, sir. You just stop sharing.
Okay, sorry.
I'll do that. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Yes. Now
Yes.
it's fine. Okay. So thank you so much, sir. Wonderful presentation with some new concept. I also learned. So thank you all of you. Now you please proceed for your lunch break. We will meet at 3:45. Our next session will start from 4 o'clock on plagiarism. Okay?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay. चलिए. Thank you all of you. Thank you.
मॅडम किती वाजता
4 वाजता आहे. आता सुट्टी आहे.
Okay.
लंच ब्रेक घ्या. अब मी 4:45ला सुरू करीन.
येस मॅम
ठीक आहे.
ठीक आहे
4
मॅडम,
ते
thank you.
5:30 राहील. 4 to 5:30.
ठीक आहे मॅडम
चलिए.
चालेल
Thank you. Thank
ठीक
you.
है मैडम, ठीक है।